Recently, Aida, the girl who edits our videos here on the channel, has adopted an Egyptian cat, the famous Sphinx cat or Sphinx cat. And the first question that everyone asks when they have one of these cats is how to feed it, what tips to follow, etc. And I found the question interesting because this animal, certainly, will need a very specific diet, very different from the rest of the cats, which I am going to explain to you in this video. Look, you have to be aware that the Egyptian cats, the Sphinx cats, have a differential characteristic compared to the rest of the cats. They are cats that don't have hair. They have a little bit of hair, they have a kind of beauty, as if it were the skin of a peach or peach, as you say in America. And, well, it's a little bit of hair, but not so much. Therefore, feeding this type of cats will require, first of all, a very important energy supplement. To give you an idea, normally, a cat food comes to have a 30% of protein and a 20% of fat. At least, the food you give your Sphinx cat should have a 35% of protein and a 25% of fat. That is, a 5% above the rest of cats or cat food that you can find, basically, as a starter, to guarantee that their metabolism is powerful enough to compensate for the loss of heat they have due to the lack of hair, basically. Secondly, and this is also very important and it's something that many people overlook, Sphinx cats are possibly one of the most hunting cats you can imagine. Among the most. Because, basically, it's an animal that is originally from Africa, that has been domesticated relatively recently, and it's an animal that tends to eat in small quantities. Think that, in nature, this cat can hunt daily up to 15 prey, small birds, lizards, big insects, etc. And, of course, this, believe it or not, also influences the way this cat has to eat. Ideally, the ideal is that the amount of food it has to eat, depending on its age, sex, pathologies it may have, which we will analyze in other videos, but it will need you to distribute very small amounts of food in different shots. Ideally, if a regular cat eats 3 times a day, a Sphinx cat could eat 7, 8, or even 10 times a day. Small amounts, as I said, you don't need to give it more than it needs, except for this peculiarity that the food is more protein and much fatter. And lastly, it's also very important, specifically in this cat, that you don't put food anywhere in the house. It's a very discreet animal, very fearful, which, as I said, it's an animal that has been very hunter-gatherer. It likes to stalk and it likes to eat in very quiet places. It's not ideal to put food, for example, in the middle of the kitchen. You always have to look for a very remote place, with very little traffic of people, so that it doesn't get very cold, so that it doesn't get very windy, so that it's pleasant. Because, as I said, it's going to be a cat that, even though it must be very hungry, to get close to eat. Do you understand me? If you put it in a very busy place, it's always going to need a quiet, remote place, and, if possible, not in the sight of other people in the house. Okay? Well, that's it, just these curiosities about this cat. Anyway, up here I'll leave you a video explaining the different diseases that this cat, in particular, can have. Okay? Well, that's it, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye.